Chair recognizes Senator Petersen, the gentleman from Fairfax City.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for two announcements and a point of personal privilege.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I might proceed to my point of personal privilege.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the oldest member here, not by a long shot. I've been here 16 years, and all in 22 years since I was first elected to the House, the same class as you were, Madam President, and Senator, there's a couple other folks there, including Senator Cosgrove. I don't think I've ever seen what I saw last night, and it was tough. And I'm not blaming anybody, because I don't think any of us saw that train wreck about to happen. But let me just say that I've always taken great pride in this body that we don't mention the names of private citizens unless it's in a complimentary space. And I think that's important because they're not here to defend themselves. And the door, unfortunately, was opened. And I'm not going to say, we say as trial attorneys, once the door's open, it's hard to close it. But we discussed the merits of candidates for boards and commissions in a very, very frank and candid way that it might seem ordinary to some state bodies. I'd never seen it done here before. And let me just make a point. Maybe it's obvious, but it needs to be made to the public. The people that put themselves forward, whether it's a cabinet secretary, whether it's a board or commission, in almost all cases, it's a decision of an economic sacrifice and a sacrifice of time. Oftentimes, it's a volunteer position. And I'm not saying we rubber stamp the governor's appointments. Not a chance. We have discretion to make decisions, and I voted against some of those appointments last night, and that's our decision. But to have the merits talked about on the floor was a little bit jarring to me, and I'll just give you an example. One of the people that was on the floor was one of my constituents, and I had called that person and let them know I was not going to support them, and I gave the rationale, and they were not happy, but it was what it was. But I just felt like the conversation got a little out of control last night. And again, I'm not blaming anybody. I don't think there should have been any conversation. But I just will tell you, I have a fantasy. Maybe it's not a fantasy, but, I'm not going to be here forever. And none of us are. And there might come a time that our name's on that floor. Or maybe the name of our spouse. Or maybe the name of one of our children. And I just beg you to keep that in mind before we have what happened last night. I'm begging both sides, okay? Let's try and keep the dignity of these people that, again, are putting their names forward. And I'm not asking anyone to do anything, but let's try and keep their dignity intact. And, again, I would simply commend that to the body, and I thank you. I apologize for trespassing on your time. Thank you.
I thank the senator. Thank him indeed.